A McDonald's employee did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did. Yes. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case.
We are also following another breaking news story out of New York City where just a short time ago
Okay. Looks like those are the two things we're going to talk about. And we'll be right back after this intro.
This is really Just Stop. Here's Ross, the host with today's dose of common sense.
Hey, I got to do something about that transition, don't I? That's a weird thing that's happening. Am I? I guess I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. Okay. Sometimes I get confused about what I'm doing. Imagine that. So they're talking about Syria on the news up there. So that's not what we're going to be talking about. That's a whole different conspiracy. But two things today that we're going to discuss just briefly is they think they found the guy who murdered the United Healthcare CEO. They're calling him a strong person of interest. And the different reports that I've seen are that the person was armed. He had a firearm with him. He had fake IDs, and Lord knows what else. But they're saying he's a 26-year-old man, and they picked him up in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and they identified him as Luigi Mangione. Wow. Luigi Mangione. Who would have thought somebody named Luigi would be the guy behind this? But we don't know for sure yet, but that's what they're saying. This is a strong person of interest, and they believe this is the shooter. So he was hanging out at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and a customer there thought he resembled the guy from the photographs, and they just called the cops. Picked the guy up while he's enjoying his Happy Meal or his Big Mac or whatever. So they snatched him. So now we get to find out the story, because he didn't go down fighting. He didn't try to die by suicide by cop. He didn't try to run, apparently. And so we have a living, breathing murderer in custody that we might actually find out more about what happened and why. He was carrying fake IDs. He had the same, one of the fake IDs, clothing matching the suspects and the fake ID used at a New York City hostel, the commissioner said. The name on that ID was Mark Rosario, matching the name used by Thompson's alleged killer to check into a New York hostel days before the attack, multiple law enforcement sources told NBC News. That's from NBC News. They just recently updated it just a few minutes ago now, but looks like they may have gotten the guy. Maybe they got the guy. So we'll find out. We'll see how close I was on my predictions and things like that. And still, I'm saying, I don't think the guy's a hired killer. He's not a hired hitman. I think there's going to be a far more interesting story behind that, perhaps, but we'll see. Yeah, only time will tell. But hopefully they'll be quick with releasing some more information after they talk to this guy, so that we can all enjoy it. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, no, that's not it. That's Daniel Penny is the person that I wanted to talk about, and I'm on the wrong tab, I think. There we go. And it is, Daniel Penny was found not guilty. So he was found not guilty of all the charges. The judge had, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but he had previously thrown out the manslaughter charge. And so he was just, let's see, found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on a New York City subway car in 2023. I think we all probably saw the video. Penny is a 26-year-old Marine veteran. He pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminal negligent homicide. The judge, oh no, there's some weird, no, you give me a commercial like that when I'm in the middle of reading it. The judge dismissed the manslaughter charge Friday after jurors said they could not come to a unanimous decision. The jury could only consider the negligent homicide charge if Penny was cleared of manslaughter. So, I'm guessing there's a lot of people who are happy about that. I don't know, because that's one that it was wrong. It was wrong. Perhaps the initial trying to subdue the person and detain the person was not wrong, but you never hold a chokehold on somebody that long, ever. There's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. The guy flailed around for several minutes, which meant that you didn't have the choke properly anyway. Otherwise, he would have been unconscious already. But once you did have it cinched down and the person was no longer resisting, you should have immediately let go. And yeah, okay, I get it. He's not a trained professional, but you can say that he was. He was a former Marine, and Marines go through the Marine Corps martial arts program, which I'm sure involves choking people. But it's he appeared to be at least somewhat familiar with applying a rear naked choke and those sorts of things when he was trying to subdue the guy. But he just didn't do it right, and you can't do those things. And it's something that I have not seen yet in the martial arts community, and it's something that I think needs to be addressed. And I've always thought this, because there have been cases of kids murdering each other, killing each other accidentally while they were playing around or doing jiu-jitsu and street fighting and things like that, because they apply a choke or they apply some other technique that can be deadly if the person applying it does it incorrectly or doesn't know when to let go. So we're teaching a whole lot of people these days, because of the popularity of jiu-jitsu and MMA and all those things. We're teaching a lot of people how to kill each other, and we're not teaching them how to stop or when they should stop applying a technique. Now, if you're in a normal jiu-jitsu class, you're supposed to understand these things. Oh, the person went limp or whatever. Maybe I should let go. But that's only if you realize the person is unconscious. And you could be in a lot of situations when you're rolling where the person can't tap. They might wind up in a position where they're laying on top of their arms or whatever, and they can't tap fast enough, can't get an arm out, and they can't talk because you're choking them. And they go unconscious, and you may not know it right away. And so you are damaging that person's brain the longer you hold that choke on there. You're cutting off the oxygen to that person's brain. And so teaching people when to stop and when to let go, and things to that, just like having the awareness of what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing in those situations, I think is a terribly underserved topic in martial arts today and in self-defense today, and on these cases that we're watching on television. People aren't talking about it. But that person did not know when he should release that technique. And so he wound up killing the person. And it's the wrong thing. So I have mixed feelings about it. Number one, the person wasn't being violent enough, in my view, to warrant trying to choke him out in the first place. You could just isolate the person and try to talk to them and keep them away from the other people. You know, just to walk up behind them and start choking them and things like that. It wasn't the right thing to do in the first place. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who disagree with me, but there's also a lot of people out there who've never been in that situation, and they don't know what they would do either. And they just want to believe that what this guy did was the right thing. And it wasn't. It wasn't. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. It didn't warrant that. And if the person did decide to get out of hand and become violent, then you can do it. But you also need to know when to let go. You have to know when, where that boundary is between I'm defending myself or preventing this person from injuring other people, and now I'm murdering him. There's a fine line there, and apparently a lot of cops don't know it either, because we don't teach that in the academy anymore, I guess. We just don't teach people, yeah, it's okay, you can just kneel on someone's neck forever, and it's okay. If they die, whatever. And it's the same mentality that got this guy in trouble. And, it's unfortunate that it happened. It's unfortunate that anybody had to be involved in that, but that guy didn't do anything that warranted dying. And Penny just had no reason to do what he did. There really just wasn't. I don't know. I'm sure there are a lot of people who disagree with me, but it's true. There was nothing in that situation, and I watched it numerous times. There was nothing in that situation that warranted choking someone out, and there wasn't obviously anything that warranted killing the person over. And the person died because Penny didn't know what he was doing. That's it. It's that simple. And you had 2 and sometimes 3 people holding this guy down. This is your first clue that if you're choking someone and it takes another 2 people to hold that person down, you aren't choking them right. That's the bottom line. You're just not. You're not doing it right, because the person shouldn't have the ability to do that, because a perfect choke, the person's out in less than 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds. I've been choked out. So I know it's true. And I've been choked out on accident when the person wasn't even trying to choke me out. We were practicing the application of a technique. And it was so perfectly done while we were just practicing getting the proper arm placement that I went out. I was out. And I didn't even have a chance to tap or anything, because I was awake and then I wasn't. That's how fast it happened. And this person had to realize, oh, he's limp. What's going on? And he let go. So why would you not let go? Oh, the person's faking being dead. I'll just keep choking him. It was minutes. It was several minutes he was choking that guy. Anyone who was properly trained would know, wow, maybe I should let go of this guy now because he's not moving anymore. Oh, wow, it looks like he's not breathing. Maybe I should stop choking him. I don't know. I have no way of justifying that at all. And so everybody can hate on me all they want. I don't give a shit. But the guy was wrong. He was wrong in what he did. He was wrong in how he did it. And would it amount to murder? Was it intentional? No, it wasn't. But it happened because of negligence. It happened because he didn't know what he was doing. So he was using techniques he should not have been using because he didn't understand them, and he didn't have the proper knowledge and experience and expertise to do it safely, to render this person unconscious safely and keep everyone alive and safe. That's what should have happened. The person should have gone out. He's laying on the ground. You wait for the police to come and pick him up. You make sure he's okay. Turn him over on his side so he keeps breathing, whatever. But, I'll just keep joking him. They were on the ground for 13 minutes. Only an idiot would think that he needs to choke somebody that long. So anyhow, that's my take on it. You can hate me all you want. I don't care. If you've never been in an actual fight, you should just shut up and not have an opinion. Because if you've never been in a confrontation with anybody on the street, you have you have nothing by which to measure that at all. And if you've never been in a situation where you needed to subdue someone who was dangerous, you don't have a dog in this fight. You have no idea what it's like. You have no idea the mentality that it takes to subdue someone versus killing someone. Because subduing someone is something that I did for years. Because when you're arresting people, you're not trying to murder them. You're just trying to subdue them and hold them or arrest them, things like that. And it's a completely different thing. It's not, I'm going to ground and pound on this person. It's, I need to get this person safely on the ground and handcuffed or whatever in custody, hopefully without injuring me or them. and we can all get on with our lives, and it's a mentality that's different from fighting. You're not just fighting. And when you approach someone from behind and just wrap them up in a chokehold, and you're not fighting someone, you just attacked someone who wasn't attacking someone else. So I have a lot of strong opinions about that, and it just shouldn't have happened. It's sad, and it just should not have happened, but it did. And he was acquitted. So there you go. A jury of his peers who also had no idea what they were saying or what would have happened if the person knew how to properly apply the technique. A jury of his peers said, oh, well, it's okay, whatever. I just think it's wrong. Should the guy be in prison? I don't know, but I don't know if I would go that far. But the people who are praising him as a hero and all that, they're just fucking stupid, because he's not. He's not. He didn't know what he was doing, and he shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So that's my take on that. But did they catch the UHC murderer? I don't know. We're kind of, we have to wait and see, because nobody knows yet. But the New York City Police Department just came out with a statement, a video a press conference, and they're saying they think they caught him. So maybe they did. And if they did, hopefully we start hearing the details pretty soon, and we can find out who was right and who was wrong about what went on and why. So until we find out, maybe we shouldn't speculate any further. A lot of people are going to, though, especially since his name is Luigi Mangione. It's almost guaranteed people are going to start saying, is this a mob guy? Whatever, I don't know. They're going to come up with all sorts of things between now and just tomorrow. So check it out. Check the news. Keep me posted. Let me know your thoughts. And hey, if you don't agree with me on the other situation, I don't care. I really don't. So have a good night. And, keep your eye on the news and tell me if I was wrong.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Really? Just Stop with your host, Ross. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss a dose of some common sense.